Well, howdy, 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 nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this. It's not so much a solo RPG. It's more of a game book type thing as they used to have, except this is so full of various choices and randomness that there's not one adventure, there's not 10 adventures. I don't know how many there are, but there are quite a few. To kind of cut things short, I made up a character by giving him the name of Vermicious Knid. I have rolled for my gold, and I have 3 gold coins. Every character starts off with 2 hit points. Hit points are not only your hit points, they're how well you fight. I've got this in Foxit PDF reader, so this is going to show up down at the bottom. I have it in read mode, so there's just the introduction to the book, and then it's just talking about more things and why the fellow has done it, the things that you need to play it, paper, pencil, and all that tells you how to make the character. Now, when you get weapons, they add an HP modifier, but you are trying to roll underneath your hit points to hit. So as you lose hit points, it becomes much more difficult to fight. And then there's items and potions. You can only carry one of each of these things. And it just tells how to fight, what you can do with gold. You can bribe people, pay monsters, etc., etc., etc. And then we are going to roll here. I'm going to do some dramatic readings, and then it will continue. Because each adventure starts at the guest house, the Two-Headed Werewolf, where you, the hero, has spent the night in protection of the storm raging outside. In the early morning, you are woken up by some commotion downstairs. As you reach the lower floors, you see the innkeeper and his wife caring for a wounded man on the floor. No one else is there. The wounded man asks for help. He has a quest he needs to solve, but now, when he's dying, he wants you to take over and reach the goal for him. For it, you will be handsomely rewarded by the king, who was the one initially calling for this quest. If you agree, move on. Otherwise, close the book and come back later. So you're still here. Great. Let's see what the wounded man was setting out to accomplish. Now, I have my dice tower here. You won't be able to see what I'm rolling. You're going to have to take it on faith, but why else would I roll a die through my die tower if I'm just going to ignore the results? I rolled a 5. Now, we write this down in the first journey box. There are 2 boxes, but there I don't have 2 boxes here, so we will pretend. And if it was a 5 or a 6, the man says, you need to rescue, and then we turn to page 22, which amazingly, if you print it out, you have to actually flip, but in PDF form, all I have to do is do this. You have to rescue someone. That was terrible. Let me try that again. You have to rescue someone, but who? The man on the floor breathes heavily. He turns to you and talks. Roll your dice again. Carefully note the second number in the second journey box on your character sheet. I rolled a 3. So we're going to write a 3 there in my second journey box. What did I roll? You have to rescue 12 farmers. They were captured by evil goblins and brought into the monsters' deep darkness. And then we have 2 numbers written down in the journey boxes. These are important in the end, so you know what page to go to when you had solved the quest. The man in front of you dies. You have taken the oath to help him on his journey, and now it is up to you to prove it. Turn to page 25 and start the adventure. I have to rescue 12 farmers. It is early morning still when you arrive at the foot of the mountain. A small creek with fresh water reminds you of the good life you have on the outside of the dungeon. What will you find inside the deep darkness? Will you survive your quest? Now is the time to find out. Before you left the Two-Headed Werewolf, the innkeeper gave you a dagger. Note this down on your character sheet. Yes, we have a dagger, and the modifier is HP plus 1, and it is page 99. Save some birds in the water stream. It is silent. You eat an apple and drink some of the fresh water, but soon decide to enter a cave in front of you. You feel a shiver. There is something that is weird with this whole place. Things change. Things change constantly. The creek on the left is wider now. The creek is smaller on the right side. Was it like that when you arrived? Are you imagining things? Questioning what you see might not be the best way to help you through the ordeals ahead. Instead, you take a deep breath and step inside the dark cave. A smell of fungus and a fresh spider web hits you. As you stand in the entrance, you look back one last time. You see a stone wall where the opening was, as if there's been a mountain wall there for thousands, millions of years. Things do change around here. Have that in mind when going through this adventure. There is no turning back. There is no map to draw. Everything changes. The only way out is a way you have not yet found, if there is any. Now turn the page and enter the corridors of the dungeon. Well, that's dramatic, isn't it? All right, let's turn the page then. You are walking. Well, let's not move the page there. You are walking down a long, dark corridor. A few scattered torches light up the dark corners, but you still walk slowly and carefully. There are no sounds. The whole place seems deserted. Roll the die to see where the corridor leads. It is a 3. The corridor turns to page 28. Corridor turns. The corridor turns left and right, both equally dark and humid. To the left, you can hear the roars of some creepy underground dweller, but to the right, the silence is mortifying. Do you want to turn left, or do you want to turn right? Well, I don't really want to fight, but the fact that there's nothing over there could mean that everything's just dead, so we'll go into the silence on the right. For some reason, the light always seems to be brighter every time you turn right. Is that how this dungeon was created? Maybe always turning right means you are on the right way to your goal? Or maybe not. Soon you see something ahead. What is it? Roll your dice. A 6. Something walks your way. From the darkness emerges a body. You cannot see clearly at first. The light is dim, but you are prepared for a fight, just in case. But you also know that the underground does have some interesting people as merchants and other adventurers. And maybe, just maybe, this person or thing might know something about your own quest. Let's find out. With a 1, we meet a goblin. The tiny goblin, excuse me. The tiny goblin is maybe more surprised to see you than you him, but still he is prepared to fight. The goblin draws his dagger. You can choose to escape, but greedy goblins can always be bribed. If you want to run away, then remove 1 hit point from your hit points and turn to page 26. If you want to bribe them, remove 2 gold. Otherwise, stay and fight. Oh. Ooh. I gotta roll a 3 or less to hit, and then they will lose 1 hit point. Let's give it a shot. You're going to have to trust me when I roll my die. And again, to combat is you need to roll your current hit points plus a weapon modifier or less on a d6. So the more damage you take, the less able you are to fight. So I've got 3 or less to hit. And with a 1, I have done so. So the goblin over here underneath the line that says pigs with no specific purpose, which I might explain at some point, this goblin is down from 2 to 1. So that means the goblin gets to attack me, but it has to roll a 1 instead of a 1 or a 2 to hit me. And I cannot believe that the bloody thing rolled a 1. So I'm down to 1 hit point as well. I have to roll a 1 or a 2 to hit now. I rolled a 1. And so I have killed the goblin. Hokey smokes. That's bad. Now I can't, no, you don't gain them back. Do you? You know what? We're on page 60. We're going to have to go all the way back up here because I need to check where they say in fighting. Fights. You subtract it from there. Remember the +2 is a modifier. If you roll a 2 or higher, they miss. They'll go on until they have 0 or less. The character is dead, game over, and you have to start from beginning. But if it doesn't, do I heal back up to the beginning, or I just stay 1? I guess I just stay 1, so there must be healing potions there. So let's head back to page 60, the long way. Page 60. That was the long way. Okay, I'm down to 1 hit point. So let's turn to page 69. Surviving beast in front of you. In front of you lies the dead beast. You carefully look around to see that no other evil monster lurks in the darkness. Luckily, you seem to be alone. For now. You quickly go through the pockets, bags, and trashy clothes pieces that the monster dragged with it. Roll that die. With a 5, I found a potion. Page 75. A potion in a small bottle. Magic. If you want to bring the potion with you, then remove any potion you currently carry. Add the new one on your character sheet. What type of potion is it? Let's take a look here. A 5. A lucky trap potion. I have to remember to come back here to page 75 because I have a potion which is a lucky trap. And so page 75 to return to. 98. All traps are not in perfect working order, and this potion takes that into consideration. At an instant where you triggered a trap, drink this potion and the trap will not be released. Okay, very good. Now, I don't know how to make this thing just jump, so we're going to click our way back to page 75, which of course says go back to page 26. So I just need to drink the lucky trap thing whenever a trap is about to go off. So back to page 26, we are going through the corridors. Long, dark corridor, a few scattered torches, walking slowly and carefully, no sounds. And where does the corridor lead? It leads to a 2. It is a straight corridor, which I would imagine is forward. You are in a long, dark corridor that keeps going forward. There is no other choice than to keep walking. After a few minutes, you end up by something in the wall. As you come closer, you notice that it is an entrance. We can either keep walking back to page 26 or go check out that entrance at page 32. We might as well go check out that entrance at page 32. A door. In front of you is moldy, but obviously still in use. The rusty hinges seem to squeak even when they are not moving. Do you want to take the risk of encountering a monster by opening the door, or turn back? It is your choice. Either go back to the corridor or try the door. Could be locked, could be a room, or be a trap. I have a way to get around the trap, so what the heck? We might as well have adventure. The idea is to have adventure, is it not? 5. The door opens into a room. 35. You enter the room. But what kind of room is this? Does it hold monsters or treasures? Are there any more exits that you can escape through if you end up in a fight? Or is it simply an empty closet? Your eyes get used to the dim light in the room. And with a 5, we see that it is a secret dungeon cell that we have found. And on page 48, the dark, smelly, disgusting cell has not been opened for ages. How could anyone survive in a tiny stone wall prison like this? There are skeleton parts on the floor, suggesting that no one can. But the little light from the corridor creates movements in the shadows. Is there actually something in here? Let's find out. And with a 3, no, there's Jack all. So back out to the corridors and let's see where we go. Page 26, we're wandering down that corridor. Where does that corridor lead? A 1. It is another straight corridor, which would be forward. Another entrance. I could check it out, but you know what? We're just gonna go on a walking. And with a, oh my gosh, a 2. Okay, we'll go back to 32. We'll check out this new entrance there, because it really wants me to. What kind of door is it? With a 1, it is locked. The door is locked. Not strange when you think about all the treasures that could be hidden inside. You cannot hear anything from inside. Maybe it is a huge archive of magic books, gold from a hidden mine, or maybe the insides hold a sleeping monster. If you want to leave the room in silence, well, if you have a lockpick item and want to use it to open the door, well, if you do not have the item, you can use your strength. I could try. It can't hurt. My hit points are 1, so I have to roll a 1 to get the door. You won't believe it. I actually legitimately rolled a 1. So the door squeaks, the lock breaks, the door opens. Page 35. You enter the room, but what kind of room is it? Our eyes get used to the dim light. I'm going to re-roll because a secret dungeon cell we've already had. So I am re-rolling that die. Stairway. Page 52. You enter a stairway, of course leading further down into the darkness of the dungeon. As you walk down the stone steps, you hear the rattling chains and muffled growls. Deep inside the mountain lurks the most fearsome and evil monsters, but there might also be a better chance of finding the clues to help you solve your quest. It is dark and moist, slippery and dangerous. The stairway ends in another corridor, but beside you, at the foot of the stairs, lies something. And with a 5, it's a magic potion. Oh dear. And when I'm done, just return to page 26. Well, let's see. What kind of potion is it? It is a 1. It is a health potion. It adds 2 to my hit points. Increase your hit point value. You cannot raise it to higher value than 6. Okay, we're discarding the lucky trap. We're taking the health potion. We are drinking the health potion. I have 3 hit points now. I no longer have any potions. Okay, very, very good. Okay, back to, page 26. Whee! I don't know how to get there easily. So, there. We are in the corridors looking for, well, more clues. Well, any clues at all, really. Heading down a straight corridor. It really wants me to be going through that corridor and checking out those entrances. So yes, we're going to check out this doorway to see what sort of doorway it is. And with a 3, it opens up into a room. And what kind of room do we find? A stairway. No, I'm not going to keep rolling the same thing. It's almost time. I'm going to retire that die, and I've got a different one. I'm going to use that one now. It's a 5. No, not 5, not 6. A 2. That's a different room than we had. A large room. A larger room that seems to hold many secrets. There are paintings on the walls, a few torches spread out. The shadows are dancing, and you can almost see movements. Or does your mind just play tricks on you? Is there someone or something here? A sound is heard, a scratchy sound like a rat or a monster. You have a feeling that you are not alone. And with a 6, we hear a click. Oh, well, of course it's a trap. The underground is filled with traps. You should know this. But carelessly, you have managed to trip one of those traps. At a moment, you feel a shiver. Maybe it's poisoned? Do you have a trap ring item? No. Lucky trap potion? No. What kind of trap is it? And how much damage did you take? It's a 5. The trap releases a stone that hits your head. You lose 2 hit points. If you're still here and not dead, turn to page 26. I've got 1 hit point. I am very glad that I drank that potion. Hokey smokes, that would have not been good otherwise. Okay, well, let's see where this corridor that we are currently within goes. And with a 6, it is a dead end. 29. The corridor unexpectedly ends in a brick wall. Or is it a wall? You have a feeling there might be a secret passage somewhere. If you have the secret door map, I don't. Otherwise, roll your die and see if you can find a hidden passage. And with a 4, something comes closer from behind. From the darkness emerges another creature. Let's see what creature emerges from behind me as I fiddle with the wall. I'm not going to keep rolling and doing the same things. I rolled a 1. I'm not going to do the goblin again. A 3. Oh, I think a goblin would have been a much better idea. It's a death warrior. Oh. The fearsome death warriors that dwell underground are not beasts one wants to meet, but you have. And now you do not have many options. The dark sword in the death warrior's hand seems to be heavy, but he swings it with ease. You can choose to escape. If you choose to escape, then remove 1 from your hit points. Otherwise, stay and fight. A Death Warrior's powerful weapon does 2 hit points and damage. I'm at least going to go down fighting. I'm not going to have my last act on this earth be to be struck down as I run away like a coward. I will go down to my death with my spine straight, spitting out curses at him as he drives his weapon into my body. Now, I say him because in this case, of course, with only 1 hit point, I'm obviously hallucinating him into some sort of big daddy figure, so, well. So, I roll to hit. I roll a 1 or a 2 to do so. Oh, I rolled a 6. I missed. The Death Warrior has to roll 4 or less to hit me. The Death Warrior rolled a 6. I swing yet again. I would imagine that these are not just swing, dodge, but flurries and strikes and such. So I swing and go. We go and do a parry thing. You know what I mean. I'm Englishing. I rolled a 3. 1 above what I would have needed, so I miss yet again. The Death Warrior rolls another 6. Another failure. Okay. 1 or a 2 I hit. It's another 3. All it has to do is hit me once. I've been prolonging this for no reason. 5. It misses me again. I rolled another 3. This is okay, the Death Warrior's turn. Another 5. Oh my God. This is what are the odds? I just had right-clicked. I'm losing my mind here. Okay, this was my attempt to hit. I rolled a 5, so I failed again. No surprise there. And the Death Warrior rolls a 6 and misses. How many combat rounds has this been where we have both been failing? This is a normal die. It is not a loaded die that I have. It is a normal die. And I'm rolling it through a mini baffled dice tower, and it's hitting and continuing to roll when it lands. I don't know why or how it could be doing this. Well, if this is its roll, I forget if it's me or it by this point. That's a 4. And the Death Warrior has indeed taken its large, strong weapon and forced it into my body, and yes, the Death Warrior was strong enough that I took it all. I took every last millimeter, and it killed me dead. Poor Vermicious Knid, split in half by the Death Warrior's weapon, deep inside the dungeons of the fantasy dungeon of random solo adventure. Thank you so very, very much for coming along with me on this journey of exploration. If you liked any of what you saw or any of the mechanics, this is less than $4 and it's available on drivethrurpg.com. It is a fun little thing. It's not deep. It's mild, but hey, you know, check it out if you like what you saw. So, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that, my friend, is indeed a very good thing.